estamos hoy en la sede de Naciones Unidas de Ginebra con los Dalit, que vienen de Asia hasta acá en Suiza, en la Cumbre de los Derechos Humanos, para contar lo que está pasando a su pueblo. Estamos acá con Paulo, que va a poder ayudarnos a traducir desde el inglés para que todo el mundo pueda entender. Buenos días, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, namaste.
Voy a preguntarle para empezar de presentarse hacia el público chileno que tal vez no conoce.
If you can introduce yourself to the Chilean audience, Sunil.
Yes, hello, this is Kumar Pariyar. I'm founder of Dalit Alliance for Natural Resources, DANAR, from Nepal. Also IDS and affiliation, and I'm here in Geneva for the UN Human Rights Program.
Entonces es Sunil Kumar Pariyar, es el director de Dalit Alliance for Natural Resources, que es la alianza de los Dalits para recursos naturales. Es el fundador de la organización y su organización es afiliado de la International Dalit Solidarity Network.
Yeah, hello. I am Karuppusamy Raman. I'm from India. I am also representing a READ organization, READ working for Dalit human rights, particularly in textile, garment, and other sector for Dalit workers' rights.
Ok. E agora se apresentou Karuppusamy Raman, é diretor do Read Rights Education and Development Center, el Centro para Educación y Desarrollo en Derechos. Y su organización trabaja con la cuestión de Dalits en la industria textil y también en empresas de derechos humanos.
Gracias. Cuando hablamos de los Dalit, tenemos pensado a India, pero no solamente en India se encuentra el pueblo Dalit.
Y when we think about India worldwide, about Dalits worldwide, we always tend to think about India, but it's the issue of the Dalits not only restricted to India. Is it correct?
Yes, you're right. The issue of Dalit is not only in India, but it is the issue of South Asia, and Nepal is one of them. Nepal is still fighting against the caste discrimination, minority group, Dalit. That's the problem.
Sí, también hay la cuestión de los Dalits en Asia en general. Y, por ejemplo, en Nepal también se lucha para erradicar la discriminación por casta y por sus derechos como una minoría también.
¿Qué pasa con los Dalit hoy? ¿Por qué ustedes se encuentran acá en Naciones Unidas, en el Palacio, durante varias reuniones para denunciar? ¿Denunciar qué?
What's happening with the Dalits in Asia today? I mean, why you are here to claim for your rights? What is the purpose of being here in Geneva at the UN?
Yeah, see, Dalits last 2,500 years, they're facing discrimination, exploitation, harassment in the name of caste. So we are a broken people, we are a landless people, we are a bonded labor, we are a trafficking person. So we are landless because we don't have business, we don't have education, we don't have political power. But in India, we are near 25%. When this India independence is a 1950 Indian Constitution is implemented, that time we are 18%. Now, the 2022, almost we are nearby 25%. So 25% we are a landless people, we are a bonded labor. So it's all happened in the name of caste system. It is not only in the India, also in the caste system in South Asia, as rightly said my friend Sunil. It's not only in South Asia, now it is a global level. Because UK also brought it anti-slavery law. You see, wherever the Indians or Hindu religion is existing, there is a caste discrimination. So not only that, also as an organization I belongs to, we are working for business and human rights, particularly Dalit workers' rights. Nowadays, Dalit is a market, is a labor market in global supply chain. because India is a cheap labor. Also, they are making big profit by suppliers international brands. So therefore, the Dalits still not only in the village level, rural level, urban level, family level, facing caste-based discrimination. Also, they are facing discrimination in global supply chain, particularly the South Asia and global level. So they are in the name of caste. Where they're working in the workplace, they are segregated. Nowadays in supply chain, in particularly India, there are nowadays the workers should be stay in the rooms. In the rooms also, Dalits is separate room. It is a discrimination. Also, even they're coming a local worker, the Dalits, they're taking by the bus, by the supplier bus, company bus. So the Dalits should not sit on front side. Dalits always should be sit on back side. Even when they're going to enter into the industry, when they came to know business people, is that this is the low cost, Dalits are untouchable, then their behavior is changing. Harassment is doing, extra overtime. Even where they're sitting, they were eating time, lunchtime, even Dalit workers are sitting separately, non-Dalit workers are sitting separately. Therefore, even the global supply chain in industry, they're practicing caste-based discrimination. It is sometimes it is visible, sometimes it is not visible. So therefore, it is not an Indian issue, it is not a South Asian issue, it is a global issue. So therefore, we came to UN, we will address in the Business and Human Rights Forum, particularly as a UN to bring as per UNGP, United Nations guidelines, Business and Human Rights guidelines, they should address caste-based discrimination as a due diligence, as a human rights due diligence is very important. And then also the government, also the suppliers as a brands, even our government should support to bring as a mainstream the worker, they bring the better working condition in the global supply chain. That is our demand, that is our request, we came to UN.
Ok, bueno. Entonces, el problema de casas es un problema que ya existe hace 2500 años, ¿no? Los Dalits son los pueblos sin tierra que son explotados, que son sujetados a condiciones análogas a esclavitud, ¿no? Cuando la Constitución de India fue puesta en marcha, había más o menos 18% de Dalits. Y ahora, ¿no? Ya hace muchas décadas después de la independencia, los Dalits contan con 25% de la población. Entonces, en resumen, la cantidad de la discriminación empeoró, ¿no? Discriminación por casta no es un problema solamente de India, no es solo un problema de Asia, es un problema global, porque los Dalits enfrentan discriminación por casta en toda la cadena de producción. Por eso que es importante poner en marcha las prácticas de la debida diligencia, ¿no? Due diligence. Y también hay ejemplos de discriminación por casta en varias partes del sector. Por ejemplo, los Dalits comen en salones separados. Cuando viene el autobús de la empresa a recoger los trabajadores, los Dalits sentan en las sillas detrás, por ejemplo. Cuando los non-Dalits están hablando y viene un trabajador Dalit, se nota claramente que el comportamiento de los Dalits cambian también, ¿no? Hay una manera desproporcional de horas adicionales de trabajo sin la debida remuneración. Por eso que es importante hablar de discriminación de casta en toda la cadena global de valor, incluso porque hay muchas compañías de Asia, ¿no? Que fornecen productos a los países más ricos y que se aprovechan de esta discriminación.
Yes.
¿Quiere añadir?
You would like to add something?
Yes. Yes, same like India, but Nepal is a very small country. We also have a very critical condition. My subject is climate change, natural resource, forest and environment issue. So if we talk about the discrimination about the natural resource, climate change, it's very terrible in my country. If we talk about the drinking water Dalit in my country, Dalit have separate drinking water, pond, well, and non-Dalit they have separate. And Dalits are not allowed to drink water from the so-called upper class people's drinking well. We cannot use these. And there is a huge discrimination, and Dalits are died if they have, if they have love with non-Dalit, so-called upper caste people, they are killed. And if we talk about the forest cases, forest issue, in Nepal, forest resources is the top in natural resources, and Dalit are forest dependent community. They have to depend on the forest for livelihood. But what happened, if they are not allowed to take the forest products for their own livelihoods, and when I had forest activists working at the local level, and I found in many places, even a small matter, for example, if the Dalit are dead, and they should they need log timber for the cremating the dead body, but Dalit they are using cow dung to cremate the dead body. It's a very dreadful condition, very terrible condition in terms of natural resource. And climate change is hitting Dalit community very hardest and fastest. Climate change negative impacts is killing to Dalit, but Dalits are also excluded in the partnership with the many programs. They are underrepresented in the organizations related with the natural resource, climate change, in forestry, government's policy. It has not been implemented well. And if you talk about the ILO 169, International Labour Organization 169 point, that is the free prior informed consent. That means if the donors are implementing or partners are implementing the programs at the local level, then there should be consent of the local community. But it's not happening like that. But in addition, Dalits are being biased, being ignored. That's the main problem. And internationally, Dalit, there is a lack of the recognition. If we talk about the UN or World Bank policy or UNDP policy, any policy, there is no Dalit policy to work with Dalit community. There is the policy to work with the indigenous community only, but they don't know the Dalit policy. They only have policy, local community policy. But local community policy, local community does not, respond the issue of Dalit. So internationally, in many donor policy or even in UN convention, Dalit word should be endorsed properly if partners want to make a good business for the Dalit community, because Dalits are poor, laborer, workers, as my friend from India, he said that. So the word Dalit should be mentioned, not like minority or not highly marginalized. This word doesn't work. We need the recognition as Dalit. This, if the UN convention or human rights forums, if they respond in the name of Dalit, then the condition of Dalit in Nepal, in whole South Asia, or whole globally, it will work.
Ok. Entonces, sí, la cuestión de los Dalits en Nepal es similar a India también, ¿no? Sunil trabaja con cambios climáticos, que es un asunto muy novedoso para los Dalits, ¿no? Y también que, bueno, los Dalits sufren muchas facetas de discriminación. Una de ellas es con la agua potable. Y aquí una nota del traductor es que la cuestión de agua tiene mucho que ver con la cuestión de la pureza, ¿no? Porque uno de los factores de discriminación y de estigma es que cuando los Dalits tocan a productos naturales, como el agua se torna contaminada. Entonces, por eso que hay fuentes separadas de agua para los Dalits y para los Dalits, porque ellos creen sí que los Dalits van a ensuciar el agua, sí que ellos tocan. Y cuando un Dalit sí accede al agua del fuente de non-Dalit, eso llega a violencia hasta la muerte. Sí, hay cuestiones de muerte. En recursos naturales, ¿no? En específico, hay muchos Dalits que dependen de los recursos de la selva, ¿no? Para su subsistencia, para madera, para, para venda, para su subsistencia, y ahí son discriminados también, porque a veces prohíben a los Dalits a recorrer esos productos, y claro que hacen de una forma sostenible, ¿no? Entonces, eso es más un factor de pobreza para los Dalits, ¿no? Y también, you spoke about cow bone, ¿no?
Cow dung.
Okay.
Cow
What
dung,
is that?
yes. That's a very terrible case in my country.
Okay.
Dalit, they do not get the law to cremate the dead body. It's very hard to fight with the non-Dalit because they are very powerful legally. They are, they have a decision-making
Okay,
power.
okay. I just wanted
Yes,
to know the word.
cow dung.
Por ejemplo, en sus rituales de cremación, ¿no? De los cuerpos, les prohíbe incluso a recoger la madera de la selva. Entonces, si tanto haces con productos de la vaca, por ejemplo, lo que es terrible, ¿no? Y muchos proyectos humanitarios de ayuda humanitaria no llevan con situaciones específicas de los Dalits. Por ejemplo, no se respeta el derecho al consentimiento libre o previo informado de la Convención 169, ¿no? Entonces, siempre que hay proyectos, no hay el consentimiento de las comunidades. Y eso se pasa también con el PNUD, el Plan de las Naciones Unidas para el Desarrollo, para el Banco Mundial. Hay políticas específicas, por ejemplo, para pueblos indígenas, pero no hay para los Dalits, ¿no? Y SUNIL también pide para que, no es que tengan pena, que son víctimas y todo, para que reconozcan su valor también, ¿no?
Claro.
Potencial.
Sí, entonces, una de las herramientas que sería importante desarrollar al final sería que haya todo un conjunto de normas, como ya hay, por ejemplo, por los pueblos indígenas, pero también más específica por la situación de los Dalit, que es distinta y es al final en un entorno distinto que el de la casta de Asia, que a veces olvidamos, pero que siguen existiendo aún en el siglo XXI.
So, Elena is asking so that one of the solutions would be to adopt specific norms or guidelines or standards for Dalits, for example, as it exists, for example, for indigenous peoples. Do you think this will be a solution that will set additional international standards for Dalits?
Yes. Actually, why I am talking about this is like Nepal government, we have drafted new constitution in 2015. Dalit has been endorsed as name, in the policy. But many policy, like if we see the World Bank policy, UNDP policy, and many donor policy, and if we talk about the Dalit community, they don't have Dalit policy. They only have indigenous policy. And if we go to talk with the donors community, then they cannot answer because they don't have any priority for the Dalit community. They only talk about the local community and indigenous community. So that in Nepal, DANAR, Dalit Alliance for Natural Resources, is a grassroots level organization network. We have 400 local alliances at the local level, but their capacity are very limited capacity because we are not getting chance to develop their capacity, the strengthening the networking. So the international policy matters a lot for Dalit community. That is, they do not have. When I was in World Bank meeting in Washington DC in 2017 and 2019, I met there a lot of trade from African people. It's a kind of racial meeting, but their agenda and our agenda is the same, but their constituency is like indigenous people. Dalit is not under indigenous people. Dalit is Dalit. So UN should respond in the name of Dalit in India, Nepal, and globally if they want to work for workers, and bonded laborers and so on. Because in Nepal, we have by government data, it is only 13% the Dalit population out of total population. But activists, NGOs, they have told that we have 20% of the Dalit out of total population, and out of them 23% Dalit, they don't have access on land. Most of them are landless. So if donors want to respond, they should work as Dalit, not only with the minority. They should focus Dalit. Then it will be secure our rights.
Ok, bueno, la constitución de Nepal es reciente, de 2015, y ahí reconoce los derechos de los Dalits, ¿no? Pero todavía falta, por ejemplo, políticas internacionales, incluso por los donantes, ¿no?, de recursos. Su organización es una organización de bases, que es en inglés es de grassroots, con 400 alianzas, una alianza de 400 miembros. Y esos miembros, ¿no?, que son muy humildes, dependen mucho de estándares internacionales para que se desarrollen, ¿no? Él estuvo en Washington en reuniones con la Banca Mundial y todo, y ahí siempre había, ¿no?, políticas para afrodescendientes, para pueblos indígenas, pero falta todavía un reconocimiento, una traducción, una formulación de políticas específicas para los Dalits. Solo resumiendo un poco. I don't know if you'd like to add something.
Yeah, I like to add something. You see, in particularly this global supply chain, there are several policies, so gender policy, or some environmental policy, even child labor policy. So many policies are there for business. They're proving their standards. But in the South Asian context, untouchability, the discrimination on Dalits is very important. We can't avoid that, but at the same time, business community, as international community, come together, discuss and debate and agree that because nobody discuss on this caste, because these suppliers, Indian suppliers, even global suppliers, they are all so-called upper caste. So they don't want to share their kind of this experience, bad experience. But at the same time, they want to make a profit. So therefore, Dalits is contributing their profit. Contributing is a development of economy. It is not a worker. Therefore, workers should be treated as a dignified way. So not only rights, and also they have workers' dignity. Dignity is very important for all the workers. But what I am suggesting here, requesting demand, these international suppliers, particularly these brands and retailers, they should bring inclusion policy, and also equality. Equality is very important. That's very important. Even though Dalit worker, they have the education qualification, technical qualification, but they are remaining as a worker. Because in the supply chain layer, is industry level, the supervisors, HR managers, or factory managers, there are always even admin. They are all so-called upper caste. But where is the Dalits? So therefore, this textile or garment or other trade, they should bring promotion policy. So they need some exposure, they need some training, they need some skill trainings. Then Dalits have the skills. Dalits don't have opportunity. So opportunity makes history change. Opportunity made historical changes. That's very important. So it is not just a word of mouth of the word opportunity. They should bring as a policy level. That is very, very important. So then we can see as a Dalits definitely. Dalits have the skills. Dalits have the knowledges. Dalits have all those things. But only we don't have opportunity.
Yes.
That's our
Yes.
demand is opportunity. Opportunity is not just speaking. We need a document.
Yeah.
That document should be a policy document. So international standard nowadays is a wage. Wage is a minimum wage. So minimum wage is a leads poverty. So leads poverty means they will become a bonded labor, forced labor, and child labor. But we need a living wage. We need a dignified wage. Yes, because you give our share, because we are the labor market. Above 50% is a labor market Dalits. So we need our share, we need our rights. Then we can see, we can also become. So that is it, not only that, and also UN, we need a multi-stakeholder approach. Multi-stakeholder approach, the brands and suppliers, a civil society, as a trade union, they should become together to address this caste-based discrimination. So definitely, as a Dalit, also a human being, is not only business and human rights. So business human rights is a Dalit rights, because we are in the market nowadays. It's a labor market. Yeah. So therefore, that is our demand. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bueno, entonces sí, hay toda la cuestión, ¿no?, de la discriminación por Dalits en la cadena de valor global, ¿no? Y hay ya políticas de género, de trabajo infantil, ¿no? Pero principalmente en el sur de Asia, ¿no? Hay problemas que, por ejemplo, las empresas de suplimiento de productos, ¿no?, son de propiedad de las castas superiores, ¿no?, las castas opresoras, como se llama. Entonces, por ahí también que se reproduce la discriminación de casta en todo el proceso industrial, ¿no? Y, por ejemplo, lo que los suplidores, lo que las marcas tienen que hacer son políticas de inclusión, ¿no?, políticas de igualdad. Eso que es importante para ellos, porque los Dalits tienen el conocimiento, tienen la formación, tienen las aptitudes, pero que los faltan son oportunidades. La gran parte de los puestos de gerente en la cadena jerárquica de una fábrica están con las castas superiores. Por eso que los Dalits siempre están en la base, ¿no?, y son la fuerza de trabajo, ¿no? Si les faltan dignidad, oportunidad, salario digno para que salgan de la pobreza, y también un abordaje que en inglés se llama multi-stakeholder, de varios actores, ¿no?, como las marcas internacionales, las brands, los fornecedores, los sindicatos, para que salgan de la pobreza, de la marginalización, y que ganen su dignidad.
Muchas gracias por ese momento. Yo espero que el hecho de estar acá, de seguir viniendo acá a Naciones Unidas, vas a ayudar a desarrollar y concretizar unas normas que sean vigentes, que sean vinculantes por la situación de los Dalits.
Well, thank you. I hope that your journey, your mission to Geneva, helps you to form and to strengthen those standards that, improve and, provides dignity for the Dalits.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Jai
you,
Bhim.
Alina, for
Thank you.
giving a great chance to speak in media. Very happy. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Desde Ginebra, Suiza, Elena Rusca por el Clarín de Chile.